What is up, people? What is up, people? What is up, people? It is your boy MM2K of Cloud Dosage, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and Geeks back again with another mic check. This is the show where we talk about the latest and greatest and the AAA genre defining community conversation. We bring it here to you in this podcast and we give you our thoughts. I just want to take some time out to make sure that everybody knows that we are here, that we are live. There are two ways you can join us. You can either join us live on Twitch. The Hard Knock Digital Culture on Twitch is over at twitch.tv/HNDC Hub. Now, for those of you that are listening to this live on Twitch, you're like, why are you saying that, MM2K? We're already here. Well, this show goes on demand on YouTube as well. So for those of you that are listening on YouTube, you're listening to it the following day, which is fine, which is cool. You're still going to get great content. But if you want to join the discussion live, have me read your comments and stuff like that, then go over to twitch.tv/HNDC Hub. Go ahead and be part of the live streams as we have them. All right. Also, too, we're giving you an opportunity to listen on Discord. Go over to the Geeks Discord. All right. I'm going to I'll have a link in the description, and let's do this as well. Let me go to Twitch here. Let me go to Twitch here. I should always have that link. Twitch TV. Let me look for Geeks Crew. There we go. There they go. There goes those fine young gentlemen. All right. Go to About. I don't want to do that. Stop that. Stop that. All right. Copy the link. All right. I'm going to put the link to Geeks Discord. All members in the Discord while live will have an opportunity to win any of our 40 plus Xbox game codes. All right. So I'm going to put that out there. And then we're going to pin that. So yeah, you heard it right. Oh, I got to edit it. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Okay, that didn't work out well because I forgot to put the link in there to Geeks Discord. Hold on. What is going on? Okay, see. Okay, I did that all wrong, y'all. Or better yet, let's do this. X. Okay. All right. I gotta fix that up real quick. Boy, did I mess that up. Boy, shaboing boing. Come on. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. So now my back. Okay. Let's unpin that. No, let's not unpin it after. Let's just unpin this message. Jesus Christ. All right. Manually unpinned after that. There we go. Okay. There you go. So if you're in the Discord while we're live or while I'm live here, you'll get an opportunity to win an Xbox code. Let me also make sure that I big up everybody at Ron. I should have done this. Ron Slusher at Paul Games Forever. It's Paul G Forever. What is wrong with my back button? Paul G Forever. There we go. Who else? At Lo-Fi. At N7. And at my homie Squids. Did I get everybody? Oh, and I forgot about Reverend. Something is in my app. Bulls for life. Oh, this is annoying me. Bulls for life. Okay, there we go. All right. There we go. Okay. So now we've notified the people that we wanted to notify that we are live. Cold Blood, I don't know if he's available. He should be. Hopefully he'll be coming by soon. Cold Blood automatically knows. He should know. All right. So here's what I want to talk about, y'all. 2023, even though it was a great year for Microsoft gaming and what Microsoft wants to do with its footprint in gaming, they were able to finally overcome the hurdles of the APK deal. And they got that all started. And then as a result, it was a cool year for PC Game Pass. For the Xbox product overall, it was not the best year. I know people like to go to Twitter and they like to say, "Oh, Connie Booth and Bungie." No, that's as messy as those situations were. It didn't result in a bad product for PlayStation in 2023. PlayStation dominated in 2023. It dominated so much that it beat out the Switch, and it handedly beat out Xbox in its biggest market. Even with Xbox heavily slashing prices. And when NPDs come out, we're going to get a bigger indication of how bad it was. That's not good. I attribute a lot of it to Xbox paying too much attention to what's happening on social media, and they've done so to the point to where now Sarah Bond, who is the VP, or who is the president of Xbox, rather, her role specifically states as one of her main roles is to coordinate with content creators. I mean, I'm ad-libbing here, but that's basically one of the main curated tasks that she has is, rejuvenating or exciting the Xbox community out on social media. That's a standard. If you create a great product, then you're going to excite your fan base. I don't get where there's something additive about that. You excite your fan base by creating great product. Now, I'm not saying that fanfare isn't important. I've always argued in the favor of fanfare. I like that, and I think it's important to show roadmaps and all that other stuff. But the fanfare cannot supersede the excitement garnered or the satisfaction garnered by your fan base just by you kicking ass. And when I say kicking, I mean the product is doing well. You're satisfying more customers. Me as a customer, I'm getting more and more potential people that I can play with because the product is doing great. Also, because the product is doing great, that lets me know more and more developers will be aimed and focused at doing things for this product. See, it ain't just about me patting myself on the back because everybody likes what I like. By the consumer base flocking to the product that I bought, that just raises the support that it gets, right? And I know a lot of my a lot of my cloud gaming friends, they get all up in the tensy and they're like, "Oh, I mean, why aren't you just being happy that games are being made and why, we're supposed to be celebrating game." Well, look, for those of you that are part of the cloud community that supported Stadia like I did, and I supported it fiercely, we know how important customer support is. So yeah, we can be happy that games are being made or something exists, but we need to know, is the expectations that are set by the company themselves, are they being met? Are they seeing success there? Are they happy? Because if they're not happy, it doesn't matter how happy I am. They're the ones with the keys in their hand. They can just yank my excitement from me at any given moment. So I don't necessarily consider looking at console sales and volume and activity that's happening with the product and how it's increasing and growing. I don't look at that as fanboying. I'm looking at that as, okay, my product looks secure, it's getting more consumers, and that means that that's all the more support it's going to get broadly. We're going to get developers flocking to this thing. There's going to be all types of collaborations and stuff like that to make this product even better. That's what I want. So the question is, how do we get Xbox there too? How does Xbox get to a point to where they are garnering the success that they need in order to start getting said collaborations as well? What do they need to do? Let's talk about it. But in order for us to address that, we got to address where they fell short in 2023, some of the trends that they're already following that are bad trends, and then what they need to do to overcome them. Before we get into that, I got to pay the bills. All right. So let me show you guys a couple of things. First and foremost, this is PNTS Network. This is the network where we, I hate those damn ads. I can't. And the crazy thing about it is because this is my website. I can't, if I show ads on the website and I'm showing that I'm looking at ads on the website, Google penalizes me. So why are you still, I keep going behind the scenes trying to remove the ads off the website when it's coming from my IP. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Anyway, but this is the PNTS Network website. We're going through a rebranding at PNTS Network. I got a video here. I got a video over on YouTube. Check out those videos where we're talking about the rebranding of PNTS Network to get more details. But while it's still under this branding, this is how you can check me out. Go to the member section, go to MM2K Gaming, and let me show you something cool here. While you're there, guess what? You can actually go up. Oh, I got to fix that. I got to fix that there. I'm glad I saw that. Well, normally you can go see the stream here, but because we rebranded it and it's called HNDC Hub right now, it doesn't recognize it, but we'll fix that and you can normally see the stream there. You can also go and check out Geeks, which is the parent home of all of our content, like particularly through the Discord and stuff like that. Just click on Geeks Crew for now, and then there's going to be more rebranding happening to help you get connected to the Geeks content. Also here, you can go check out Geeks on Twitch. Me and Cold Blood will be live there tomorrow doing NRO podcast. It's going to be a hell of a show. You definitely don't want to miss that. So definitely check all that out, right? Check all that out over on the PNTSnetwork.com. And we're going to have, so here it goes. It's popping up another ad. Like, what are we doing? Stop it. Okay. All right. Also, me and Cold Blood later today, we're going to the newly rebranded MM2K Gaming Streams. I'm going to drop this link here. I'm going to put join Cold Blood and I for some action packed gunplay via Remnant 2. We're going to be doing that over on the newly rebranded MM2K Gaming Streams. So you're definitely going to want to join us there. Okay. So don't miss a moment. Also, you're going to want to go to Geeks Crew right here on Twitch tomorrow. What did we say, Cold Blood? Cold Blood will let me know. He's listening in. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. I can't remember. Are we doing it 7 p.m. your time or 8 p.m. your time? We'll still figure it out, but it's going to be around 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. NRO podcast, the first one for the year. Man, it's going to be a hell of an episode. All right. That said, let's get into today's show. That is the wrong one. Okay. So first, let's talk about the stuff that is being done wrong. Okay. Xbox has a tendency to establish itself around fanfare, and then they move from there. Like when they bought Bethesda, I thought that was a power move. It was a big power move because their most worried competitors in the long term, Amazon and Google, were hugely affected, particularly Google, by that acquisition. Google and Bethesda were working on some cloud stuff that was going to be vital to the Stadia platform. Why is my phone? Hold on one second. All right. So I need to turn this down. Give me a second here. There we go. So they were going to work on some things that were vital to the Stadia platform. And those things got etched out when they were purchased by Microsoft. One in particular was Project Orion, where Bethesda was working with Google Stadia, and they were working with Xbox to increase the frames on its cloud platform. That was going to be vital to Stadia, upping its capabilities for its consumer base and them staying competitive and staying a step ahead of NVIDIA GeForce Now. But as we know now, NVIDIA GeForce Now, even before Stadia's demise, they leapfrog Stadia and capabilities, and they have a wonderful product in the NVIDIA GeForce Now Ultimate. That being said, that happened. And then also there was just a partnership between the two as far as games were concerned. One of the bigger things is that we saw that Elder Scrolls Online was stuck at 30 frames per second on Stadia, and there's no reason why that game couldn't have been 60 on Stadia. I think all fingers point to that being held back via the relationship that was just established by the Xbox purchase. And then after Xbox bought them, there were no future games slotted for the platform to where Bethesda looked like a real strong supporter of Stadia. Even Mark Stratton, who didn't have to say anything positive about Stadia after they were purchased, Mark Stratton of id Software, he said there's nothing that's going to stop gamers in the mainstream, and I'm ad-libbing here, from realizing xCloud and Google Stadia. Well, he wasn't 100% right, but because Google bailed out on the product earlier than a lot of people suspected. That being said, we saw that being heavily affected there. And I think they did what they needed to do there. They neutralized a competitor in a major way. A major collaboration. They were able to step in and then also get some great IP in the long run. Starfield may have not landed. We're going to talk a little bit about Starfield. Yes. Oh, well, you keep talking about Starfield because I paid money for it. I bought the early edition, and I got every right to talk about it. I mean, I don't get this theory where unless you like something, you can't talk about it. Like those that bought something and wasted their money on something that they were overpromised on, they don't have any rights to speak on it. It's just the people that like something. Like, if that isn't so one-sided and so biased, it never was. Like, I never, even going back to Stadia real quick, I never had a problem about people complaining about Stadia on things that factually existed and they didn't like. I felt like Google needed to hear that stuff so they can fix it, whether I agreed with it or not. My issue was the misinformation, the lies, the over-exaggeration of stuff. But your dollar is no more important than me. If you like it and you want to praise it to high heaven, fine. I'm not going to stop you. I may not agree with you at all, but if that's how the product makes you feel, great. But on the flip side, you don't get to downgrade my dollar that I invested into this thing. No. I was expecting XYZ. I know the pedigree of this company, and it didn't come to fruition. And we need answers because, look, the state of AAA gaming is in a state of flux. A lot of it is finding sustainability to become harder and harder every day. And for those that are fans of that genre, we're concerned. Period. And then also, to add to that, I get that there's a lot of people that like to hold hands under the sunrise and, you know, and bring out the picnic baskets, hey boo boo, and just celebrate and eat sandwiches and just play all games and be like, oh, let's just celebrate that a game exists. I know that y'all want to do that, and that's fine. I'm not mad at y'all. Go ahead, y'all. We love everything that exists in gaming, picnics, all you want. This is not what this channel or this product is. It's called Hard Knock Digital Culture. So if comparative debate and analysis makes you queasy, then you know what to do next. Bye-bye. Right? This is not soft, wiggle, hold me and hug me. This is called Hard Knock Digital Culture. We really take a critical eye to what's happening on the AAA genre-defining stage, crown and celebrate those that are doing what we feel like needs to be done to push the genre forward, and we criticize those that we feel like are doing the reverse. Now, Geeks in entirety is way bigger than MM2K, way bigger and way broader. And yes, the co-founders, they celebrate all realms of gaming. But when we're talking about Hard Knock Digital Culture content, or me putting my critical eye out there, that's what I do. So if that gives you heartburn, you know what to do. You don't go to a Monster Car convention and say, or a what do you call it, a power car convention where they got the fastest and most high-speed cars out there, and say, well, hold on, how come y'all ain't talking about the Prius? Prius is a great family car. This is not a family car convention. We're a lot more critical. We're talking about a specific type of car with a specific type of performance, and we're rating it. We're analyzing it. And then that leads us to being critical of such. The family Prius convention is next week. That's where you need to go, buddy. Let's make that abundantly clear. It's called Hard Knock Digital Culture. I mean, just the name itself isn't inviting to picnic baskets and holding hands and celebrating all that. We're not sitting there playing Golem and patting the developer on the head and say, oh, no, such a valiant effort. That doesn't happen here. So get it together. All right, that's it. Let me continue on. We got to look at where Xbox fell short in 2023. One of the biggest places where they fell short is pivoting from its following on Twitter. I feel like its following on Twitter led it to taking the Bethesda acquisition, and that leading to them wanting exclusive content for the Bethesda games. I feel like, and to be fair to Xbox, I don't think that they realized how much of a jam this would cause for them down the road. But I called it. I called it in 2023. I said, this is going to hurt them for Activision and future acquisitions. I even called it in 2022 when they made the decision that this is how they were going to pivot. And my thing is, and people may say that and they may, oh, MM, you're just upset because you can't play Starfield on your PlayStation. Look, 90% of my gameplay is on NVIDIA GeForce Now. I got what I wanted. I got to play Starfield relatively close to launch, like really a week out from launch. I got to play it on NVIDIA GeForce Now. That's what I wanted. That's what I begged for when it came to that game. And that's what I got what I wanted. I don't care if it was playable on PlayStation. I would have played it on NVIDIA GeForce Now anyway, because I wasn't spending the $70 that I would have had to pay to play it on PlayStation. Excuse me. So I got exactly what I wanted. So miss me with all that trash. But I think what should have happened is, in lieu of bigger acquisitions and nabbing the big fish that ABK was, I think what you do is the first 3 years, everything that's announced or coming out is multi-plat. Like recoup, like use at least the first 3 years to recoup your money back. I would have had everything be multi-plat the first 3 years, but they were so worried about these fanboys on Twitter, because that's the only people that was complaining about this, was the fandom on Twitter, the Xtreme fandom. I think if you have everything multi-plat for 3 years, ABK is closed in early 2022, maybe even 2021. What was ABK announced? ABK was announced early 2020. They could have probably had that damn deal closed in 2021. Would have been probably unlikely, but it would have been a possibility, because there would have been no precedent of there being concern. Microsoft could have very easily just said to Sony, look, we're going through everything. We're trying to figure things out. We don't want to renegotiate. We don't want to do a new deal just yet. Let's just extend your current deal for 3 years. Hell, give them exclusive rights for 3 years for ABK, for Call of Duty. Or we'll extend exclusivity for a year and we'll just expand this deal in entirety as far as Call of Duty is concerned, or whatever, or for ABK for 3 years, and we'll renegotiate in 3 years. There would have been no prior precedent to set off alarm bells with regulators. They should have done that with the cloud stuff as well, right? For 3 years. And then there's no precedent for any of this stuff. There's none. Why do you think language from the regulators, including the EU, talked about allowing Linux, supporting Linux-based, what's it called? Where do you think that came from? That came from Google. The FTC probably didn't let Google represent themselves in an effective manner when they had their trial. But Google went screaming bloody murder when they talked to these regulators. That's how that type of stuff ended up in their literature. Nobody know. They don't know what the hell a Linux-based operator. That came from Google. Google cried bloody murder after the Bethesda stuff that was supposed to happen came to a crashing halt. If they would have just, maybe if they would have held off on Orion, we're holding off on this, but continued with the game deals, there you go. There is no precedent. Then after those 3 years, y'all do what the hell y'all want. Then y'all can go exclusive. There is no 10-year deals or none of that stuff because there's no precedent for anybody to raise concerns from. And I think that was the way that they were moving. Tim Stewart hinted to that. Do you think Microsoft is happy that they had to sell their cloud rights to Ubisoft? Do you think that makes them happy? No. They were like, man, we're going to crush Amazon and Google. Now, Google just got cold feet and they ran the hell out. But they were like, man, we're going to crush Amazon. They can't get Call of Duty. They can't get Starfield, and they can't get Call of Duty. Oh man, we got them. Make Google. We just said boo to Google, and they ran the hell out. Now we're gonna crush Amazon. You think that they wanted to put those games on those platforms? No. Or they want those games to, up until 10 years from now to be available on those platforms for a state of perpetuity. I know I'm saying that wrong. Perpetuity, I think it is. Meaning that after 10 years, any games that come out 10 years after the 10-year deal is gone, they don't have to be added to the other platforms. But all the other games that released on those platforms, they have to remain. Perpetuity. So yeah, all these Call of Duties and all these other games that are releasing on these cloud platforms, they have to remain on perpetuity. Anything that comes out 10 years after the deal closes don't necessarily have to be there. So people still can be feasting off of, they'll be older games, but they still can be feasting off of these Microsoft games. Do you think Microsoft wanted that? No. How did they get here? Number one, because they did what the fan base wanted them to do, which was stupid. Should have left everything as is for 3 years. If you would have done that, I'm all for it. I'm all for exclusive content. You ain't got to give nothing to GFN. You ain't got to give nothing to nobody. You would have just done that and held your own for 3 years. Guess what? All that stuff can now be exclusive to Microsoft and Xbox. And they fumbled that bag, listening to these crybabies on the internet that don't understand how business works. They have no business acumen. So number one, Xbox has to stop listening to these crybaby ass zealots on the internet. Because I know Tim Stewart is sitting there looking at Phil after all this is said and done. And he says, see, MFer, see, give me your phone. Give me your phone. Matter of fact, let me show you guys something. I don't think I showed this to you guys before, but I want to show it to you now. Here it goes. I think I did show this to y'all. I'm gonna show it to you again. This after everything was said and done and they still got ABK, they're looking at the end results of how they end up getting ABK, what they gotta give to someone else to distribute, all that stuff, and they're looking at it versus what they originally wanted to do. Oh, that's why you're seeing price hikes. That's why you're seeing skim backs online. This is not what they wanted to do with the product. Ultimately, it's still a win for them, but it's not what they wanted in entirety from the deal. Let me show you what Tim Stewart probably gave Phil Spencer at the end of this whole ordeal, when they probably did a risk analysis of what went wrong on how they tried to approach it why they had to fight this so much and spend so much money to do so. And the final outcome, even though they still got the deal that they wanted, where did they stumble? After they did that risk analysis, here's what Tim Stewart gave Phil Spencer, or probably handed him this after Christmas or for Christmas. You see this? Sorry if y'all, for you people in the Discord who can't see it, here's what I'm showing you right now. This is the Kendrick Lamar limited edition anti-smartphone. What it does is it's called a dumb phone, meaning the purpose of the phone is it allows you to dial out, gives you an alarm language, music, and then you can write notes. But the purpose of the phone is it completely disconnects you from the internet. I bet you that's what Tim Stewart handed Phil Spencer. And when I say I bet you, I'm just, I'm being hyperbolic. But if I'm Tim Stewart, I'm slamming this up against his chest. Merry Christmas, mother. Plug your ass away from the internet. You scour the internet too much. Yes, we did this for exclusive content for Game Pass. Shut your ass up. Shh. Not yet. Not yet. Shh. Now, I know I had my problems with Microsoft making these acquisitions. Number one, I just don't like consolidation. So it's not a Microsoft thing. But number two, I don't want all this property that has all this talent in their hands only because they're not great curators of content. This regime isn't. And y'all might say, oh, MM2K, you're being hyperbolic again. Just look at Redfall. Look at Starfield. If those ain't the biggest testaments, and again, you can like those games, but BSG games and Bethesda games from the broad software teams, they get way more accolades than those two titles did. Those were the two titles that were supposed to turn everything around for Xbox in 2023. And they just doubled down on the mediocrity theme. So that's why I have a problem with Microsoft acquiring these studios. Number one, I just don't like acquisitions. Number two, I just don't like the job that Microsoft does. Now, if Microsoft does something like they get rid of Matt Booty and they bring in Peter Moore, or they replace Matt Booty with Mike Ybarra or something like that, then I might think about that differently. They need some hardcore, shrewd blood in the power of overlooking those studios. That's what they need. I would love to see Mike Ybarra yanked out of Activision and made in charge out of all the studios, and Matt Booty sent to retirement with Peter Hines. Hell, bring Peter Hines back too. Shit. Shoot. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be no safe for work podcast. But golly. But anyway, that's my problem with them, acquiring this. But the business side of me looks at this and it's saying, look, hey, it's their business gangster, as I always say. Business, all fear, love, and war, it's business. And the smartest business strategy would have been to play it cool. To play it cool for 3 years. And say, no, we're trying to bring games everywhere, baby. Yeah, it's all great. It's all groovy. It's groovy. Yeah, man. Y'all getting Starfield on PlayStation. Yeah, man. High five. And after those 3 years is done, rank that from up under their feet. Hell no, we ain't expanding that or increasing that extension. Hell no. You want Call of Duty? Come to Xbox. Man. Come on, bro. Y'all know I'm right. Y'all know I'm right. I know there's a lot of people that play on PlayStation. I know it. But Call of Duty is huge. Let Call of Duty, you know what I'm saying, 2025 or 2026 be Xbox exclusive, bruh. And then look, they talking about these mugs was going to release their cloud box. And come on, bruh. Come on, what is we doing here? That would have been sick if Xbox could have released its cloud streaming box in 2026. If y'all want to play it natively, y'all can through the Series X, or come get this cloud dongle in 2026, and Call of Duty's exclusive there. That would have been sick. Y'all can have this generation. Y'all got it. We going back to 360 moves. They would have had it. But by listening to the stupid ass fan base that don't know nothing about business, that just wants talking points to win on Twitter for that day. Come on, Xbox. Come on, Phil. They're going to be ripping on us for this week. This dummy fell for that. The Kendrick, if I'm Tim Stewart, hell with slapping him in the chest. I'm slapping him in the face with the Kendrick Lamar phone. Take this and sit your ass down and be the CEO that you need to be. Been listening to these crybabies out on Twitter. We got a strategy. We're about to take this thing over. What is you doing? Stupid. So number one, they need to unplug. I mean, I get it. If you want to sell Xbox toasters and Xbox jammies and stuff like that and have Xbox sleepovers where my brother Tim is asleep before lights go out again on, you know, in the crowd. If y'all want to do that, fine. But y'all shouldn't base your business strategy off of these imbeciles on Twitter. I just hate seeing strong business possibilities go to the wayside. That's why I don't mince any words about Stadia. People are like, oh man, you really are harsh on Google. Yes, they deserve it. Because look what they would have done if they would have just waited. Look what would have happened. Look what fell in their lap had they just waited. I don't sit there and do the ring around the rosy and I'm sticking a rose stem in your hair and, you know, and giving you Skittles. I don't play those games when it comes to the products that I like. I want to see that the products that I like, I want to see saturation and growth that is sustained, that keeps the product sustainable because I like it. And I'm not dumb. I don't have low business acumen like a lot of these imbeciles out here. I know that if that doesn't happen, the product is at risk. So I'm critical. I criticize. I say things. Sometimes I'm a little extra harsh just to double down and make sure that you're doing what you need to do to survive. That's why I land-based Stadia for 2 straight weeks when they handled SG&E the way that they did. I had people calling me like, bro, okay, it's enough. We get your point, man. It's enough, man. But you turn into a Stadia hater? No, I love this thing. That's why I'm criticizing it the way that I am. I don't get y'all. I don't get y'all that want us to ring around the rosy and play the banjo and act like everything is cool when everything around you is crashing and burning. When they're not meeting litmuses, when they're not meeting benchmarks, when they're getting outsold 3-1, that's not good. And just saying, well, I like it right now. Do you not want to continue to get what you like? Maybe it's just me. I'm one of those people. I go into a store. I go nuts when a product that I like has been discontinued. Because I'm in a routine. Maybe it's just me. I like being in a routine. My kids will tell you, do not touch my stuff and not put it back exactly where you found it. I will flamboil their ass. I don't come to my house doing that. I hate that. I get a routine. I get up. I know where this is at. I know where that's at. Know where my keys is at. Everything that I have is placed in the same place all the time. I like a routine. So when something breaks that routine, I'm very sensitive to it. So if I like something, I want that thing to stay around. I want you to do what you need to do as the heads of XYZ thing to make sure that it's around. It stays around. And when you're not doing that, that's what I get up. I look at you and say, well, what are you doing? And I start getting critical. I don't get y'all that like something. See that it's not doing what it needs to do as far as success is concerned. And then go ring around the rosy, pocket full of posy, ashes, fall down. They're sitting there playing the banjo and sharing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with each other in the park like everything is okay. I can't do that. Now, some people, again, going back to Stadia, some people may say, well, MM2K, when Stadia wasn't doing XYZ. Stadia, as far as what its peers were doing, there was more than enough data to show that it was doing it was on par with its peers. All analysts, there was a report that said that, our data shows that along with GFN, xCloud, and something else, no, it was GFN, xCloud, and Stadia, because of their current performance, they're going to springboard the future of cloud gaming. There was just a report that came out and said that a couple of months before they announced that they were closing down. So amongst their peers, they were doing fine. What we didn't know is that Google had loftier expectations for this platform. And we had no idea because we're looking at what they put into the marketing and the decisions that were being made. And we're like, you expected this result from that? We didn't understand how kooky the leadership above Stadia was. That was the alphabet leader. We didn't understand the only right thing that they did in supporting the platform is they first funded and supported the low change porting tools. It's the only thing that they done. That was right. But that was short-lived because look what it took for them to just yank you know what I mean? So when it's more than evident that you're not reaching the benchmarks that your peers are meeting, because that's the only data that we have. We don't know what your lofty expectations are behind the scenes. We're not in the boardroom. But when you're not reaching the expectations that your peers are reaching, that right there is sign enough that there's a problem. So I don't know how you can see that and go, oh, but what they said they're going to do, is they said that in the future, PC and cloud and PC, What does that even mean? What does that even mean? What they said they were going to do? I said I'm the Dalai Lama and I'm the Pope. Poof. Oh, I guess I'm both of them. Why are we going by what they said is going to happen when all the stuff that they said was going to happen in the past didn't happen? It was tied to the CEO's compensation and it fell through. So why when the proof is mounting, it's oozing out of the drawers and out of the evidence files that they cannot accurately predict what their product and services will wield? Why are we still giving them the benefit of the doubt? I don't understand it. Low business acumen, LBA. All you LBA cats out there, I can't relate to you. at all. So I don't care what they said. This new strategy that they're doing, as far as the ecosystem is concerned, it's not working. It could have got a hell of an injection, a hell of a boost, had they just held out for a few years. I said, to be fair to them, they, at the time of the acquisition and when they made that decision with Bethesda, I don't think that they knew that Activision was going to be on the plate next. I don't think they knew that. Or there's no evidence that they knew that. So if they didn't know that, they didn't realize the impact it would have on a deal that didn't present itself yet. I get that. But still, you kick the tires on everything. We always say that in business. What if we do acquire something else? Is it really worth making Bethesda stuff exclusive this soon? Is it worth it? And they should have been able to look at Starfield and Redfall, for crying out loud, and say, not just yet. When that Elder Scrolls 6 comes, hell yeah. But not with this. Just put it out there. Put it on play. Put it everywhere. Let's look as friendly as possible. Then boom, ABK falls in our lap. See? Look, we even still kept this stuff on Stadia. Come on, y'all. We gravy up. Yep, everything looks good. We're signing off. They closed the deal in 2022. Guess what? Deal's closed. They hitting up Jim Ryan. They're like, Jim, what's up, bro? Let me rap to you, man. You know what, man? After we extended the deal, the current deal, for 3 years. Or they don't say anything till 2024. Jim Ryan's reaching out. Hey, yo, what's up with this? You know, the deal's about to expire. We're going to talk about a new contract. Nah. We can't do that, bucko. What do you mean? Nah, we're not doing that, man. We ain't doing it, bruh. We are not doing it. We are going to close out that deal. We're sorry. You know what I'm saying? Maybe at worst, they do a 5-year deal with the cloud. They ain't got to do 10-year deals. They can do a 5-year deal with the cloud. There is no, because Call of Duty isn't on the cloud at all yet. So maybe they can do a 5-year deal with the cloud and say, look, we're going to extend this to as long as these other games, and we're going to negotiate contracts, as long as these things can be negotiated. Yeah, we'll put them on the cloud for 5 years. But then there is no prior precedent strong enough for them to argue to the regulators and say, well, Xbox did this and Xbox yanked that and Xbox did this. So see, that wasn't the route that they were going to go with Bethesda. They were going to do first, better, or best. Had they stuck to that, like Tim Stewart had said, and Tim Stewart didn't make this up. He's not no de facto CEO. That apparently was the business plan that they spoke of in prior meetings. That's how this works. These people meet daily. What are the talking points? What are the direction? Phil sets that tone. Tim Stewart did not make that up. So once he got that tone, Tim went out and talked to the people that he needed to talk to. And the reason why he said wow in the subsequent emails unearthed later was because that's the complete deviation from what the tone, what tone was set prior. Like, wow. And why was that tone set? Because bro was on the internet watching Twitter. He needs the Phil Spencer needs the damn Kendrick Lamar phone ASAP. Can you, again, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to move to the next point. Can you imagine if they would have done what they originally planned that Tim Stewart elaborated on, first, better, or best? They didn't start canceling and doing shady stuff with other partners with state anything. They just smiled and looked as friendly as possible. And then therefore there's no precedent for CMA, EU, FTC to really operate on, to really push 10-year deals or any of that stuff. They've already, look, the contract was to expire in 2024. We're going to extend it to 2027, right? We're now going to do contracts with the cloud companies till 2027. Call of Duty wasn't even in the cloud, y'all, and we're doing contracts with them till 2027, and then we're going to look at everything. Once we get a handle of what we got, what our capabilities are, we're going to access all that, and we're going to make the adjustments, including new contracts where it's necessary. Can you imagine if that was the approach? There's no precedent to force them to make anything multi-plat. 2026, 2027 rolls around. They drop their new box, if the rumors are true. And guess what they do? The first Call of Duty out with that new box. Well, I'm timing my new box with when the first Call of Duty comes out that's going to be exclusive. Come on, man. Once the contract expires. Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be exclusive. Come on, bruh. So again, thing number one to do, Microsoft, is unplug from Twitter. Twitter is not your friend. You are the CEOs. You are the ones with the business acumen. These imbeciles on Twitter only represent like 5% of your player base. Do not let these dummies stifle your success. This is coming from someone who didn't even want you making these acquisitions, who didn't like it. So what if I don't like it? They were made. You could have completely maximized these acquisitions. Not only could you have set yourself up in the future in the cloud or wherever you wanted to with these products, because they would have been exclusive there, but then you could have closed the gap or even overcame the issues that you had as far as the separation between you and PlayStation. Call of Duty is like the top 3 game played in hours pretty much everywhere globally for PlayStation. Yanking that from them and making it exclusive to your ecosystem, that creates a power shift that I don't think anyone could even imagine. So you screwed up there. All right. Don't have much more time. Also, stop overhyping games. Like we saw something here. Let me get away from this. We saw something where an article was like, yeah, Hellblade 2 is going to be the game that brings Xbox to glory. No, just stop. Just stop. Try to do better at curating this title, supporting this title so it can be the best that it can be. But do not overhype this like how you did Starfield. that's a mistake. I think number 2, Game Pass is your flagship product, whether you want to deny it and say it's just about choice. It's your brand. It has to service to hardcore a little bit more. There's not so much you can do, but if you can get talent out there scouting the new games that are coming, it'd be great to see more games like Lies of P hit the platform day and date. But if you can scour and get more and more titles on the platform day and date like that, get more gems, like even if they're not day and date, get more gems like Remnant, who, really are great games, but maybe are not getting the saturation and the sales that they would like. If you're there around that sunset period of like 3 months, like how you were with Remnant 2, I think that was a great get. And you be there with a check. I think that's a great move. Then your exclusives just got to be better. Whatever's coming out AAA exclusive wise, they can't be like last year. They just can't. They can't. You got to do better there. I got to admit, people are, again, unplugged from the internet. People are out here clapping like baby seals. January looks strong. Look, your January lineup is doing nothing for the hardcore. You need the hardcore on board. We already talked about this yesterday. The hardcore is the anchor for the AAA genre defining ecosystem. Why is that? Because when you get the hardcore on, they're like the cool kids in the school. So everybody's going to want to try to emulate the cool kids. They may not sit there and do everything that the cool kids do, but they at least want to look like one of the cool kids. So they're going to wear one of the jackets or the pants or the bandana, whatever that the cool kids have. All the cool kids in the gaming space got the PlayStations. Why? Because it has the best AAA genre defining hardcore games. So, I want that, even though I'm playing a bunch of multiplats. Or because that's where the hardcore gamers go, the hardcore guy that's in my Call of Duty clan, that's the one that's carrying all of us, he's getting a PlayStation. We're all going with him. You got to switch that dynamic. So your Xbox exclusives, man, they got to be pristine. They can't be like 2023. They can't be like Minecraft Dungeons in the 70s and Redfall in the 50s and Starfield. As far as users are concerned, they're mostly negative or mixed review. They can't be that. They got to be stellar. But again, I'm looking at January. Get that Kendrick Lamar phone. Because you're not going to have every month that hits, but don't look at January and say, oh man, yeah, this is what's going to do it for us. No. Here's some additional things that you can do that can fix things. The power of the Xbox games we haven't seen everything. There's supposed to be a developers direct that's being hinted to be coming soon. So maybe that'll, make things better. We'll get a better understanding of what the roadmap is. There'll be more surprises because really the only thing that we know that's coming in 2024 is Hellblade 2. So there could be some more surprises there. And then last but not least, I think the biggest thing that Xbox got away from that is going to hurt it is its lack of powerful third-party exclusives. I get that they got stung with Tomb Raider. Like the way Tomb Raider was handled was abysmal. That was a failure of the community. They got it on Xbox. The first thing people started doing is, when is it coming to PlayStation? That's no, that was bad. But then you that's where your savviness and your prowess in this space, it has to kick in. We are dominant we're trying to be dominant in the gaming space. The exclusive content idea or notion is nothing new. Sony's going to do it too. They're just behind the curve. We've beat them to the punch. Give kudos to our gamers and our people that work in Redmond for signing this deal And Xbox is affordable. It's a great machine. Come and get one if you want to play Tomb Raider. That's what you do. Not all this waffling, and then start abandoning third-party deals. No, you need some third-party exclusives to power the reasons of having this box. Game Pass is not going to do it for the hardcore alone. You need, because the games that are going to turn the tide are not, they'll never agree to be third party day and date in Game Pass. You can come across some gems like a Remnant or a Lies of P, but I'm talking about the big stellar AAA games. You need some third party exclusive deals. You still need to be operating with those. All right. Until you get all things working on all cylinders. All right. So that's essentially it for today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, join the Geeks Discord. All right, we got that pinned in the chat. If you're watching this VOD, it'll be in the description. And also hit on over to MM2K Gaming Streams, because Cold Blood and I, in like the next 10-15 minutes, we're going to be playing some Remnant 2. All right. So with that said, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Thank you so much. And until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.